Hello and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. So, Unity says its AI tech will soon be able to prompt full casual games into existence. That's definitely a very bold statement. So is this yet another basically one of those AI hype sort of comments, where you basically just got CEOs hyping up AI? Or is this actually genuinely true? Is there some kind of serious update happening in the future that is somehow going to make this possible? Unity has actually been building out their AI tools quite a bit, and they've actually generally improved them quite a bit since the early release. Nowadays it actually has a ton of use cases. Honestly, I haven't done a full deep dive on the tool since a few months ago and things have changed quite a bit, so maybe I should try it out again. Because yeah, right now it definitely does have a bunch of use cases. I made a full super detailed getting started video a few months ago. It's still generally up to date when it comes to covering what each tool does. So if you want more detail on specifically these tools, check it out in the link in the description. But of course, having a bunch of separate use cases is quite different from making an entire game by itself. That is a very, very difficult task. Now, this topic of AI and basically AI replacing game developers, it's actually a question that I've been getting more and more in the recent years. It seems like every other day I get some kind of question saying something like, oh, with AI improving so much, is there any point to still learning programming, learning game development, since soon enough games will all be made just with AI? And my answer to that is nope, that is very much not the case. We are still very far from that. A game is actually an insanely complex thing. Remember how a game involves things like game design, which AI is definitely not good at. It involves programming, which AI is good at simple things, not necessarily complex systems. It involves sound design, it involves art, it involves actually feeling, because games are all about feeling something, some fantasy, feeling awesome. So there are many things that individually AI can do, but putting them all together into one cohesive experience, in that AI is still very, very much weak. So my answer to all those comments, to all those worried people, my answer is always the same. It is always basically don't worry about it. Just look at AI as not a replacement, but rather as just a tool. Basically, in the entire history of humanity, it's always been humans plus tools versus other humans plus tools. And now it is very much the same thing. AI is really just another tool in your toolbox, and if you use it alongside you, it can help you be quite a bit more productive, but the tool by itself is not really going to replace you. If you have a hammer doesn't really replace a carpenter. It just helps a carpenter be quite a bit more efficient as opposed to, I guess, hammering with its hands. So I believe that is the way that you should be thinking about AI. So rather than being scared by it and thinking that it's going to replace everyone, just look at it as a tool to help you as opposed to replace you. So here the CEO was basically discussing the state of the company's AI business on a recent earnings call. And in there, the CEO, he said the company is preparing to unveil a new AI beta at GDC, and that will basically negate the need for coding. So yeah, GDC is happening next month, and usually companies announce all sorts of things at GDC. Unity will definitely have some kind of presence, some kind of roadmap they will do. I'm definitely curious to see what they're going to showcase, especially with this. So is this going to be just another version, or is it actually going to be some pretty big update? Then he goes on to say, so AI-driven authoring is our second major area of focus in 2026. There's definitely a very bold statement saying that it's the second major area of focus for the entire company. At the Game Developers Conference in March, we'll be unveiling a beta of the new operated Unity AI, which will enable developers to prompt full casual games into existence with natural language only. So yep, like I said, definitely a very, very bold statement. However, he is at least not hyping it up way too much, or rather specifically, I like this inclusion, making it about prompting full casual games into existence. So he's not saying that there's an AI coming out that is going to basically build GTA 6 for you. No, he's specifically saying casual games. And in that sense, these comments do tend to make a bit more sense, because nowadays AIs are actually very good at making simple games. If you ask an AI to make something like Flappy it can actually generally do it right now. If the game is so simple, it can actually be done. Just recently I saw a bunch of these videos on YouTube talking about some AIs making some classic games, classic mobile games, classic casual games. So in this case, Subway Surfers, which is definitely a very successful game, but also a very simple game. You really just got 3 lanes, just move between them. And yeah, for these kinds of simple games, you can actually try to build them using just AI. Although again, it still goes back to the same thing that I was saying, which is how you can only get good uses out of a tool, out of AI, out of any tool, if you actually know what the tool is doing, if you actually know how to use the tool. If someone with no game dev experience, with no programming knowledge, just goes ahead and says, make me Subway Surfers, the output is going to be quite weak. Whereas on these videos, the reason why they are able to actually get some decent output, the reason for that is because they actually ask a ton of follow-up questions. Meaning that you need to have an actual decent knowledge base in order to be able to properly use that tool. So back to the article here, so he continues, so this assistance will be powered by a unique understanding of the project context and our runtime. While leveraging the best frontier models that exist, we believe together this combination will provide more efficient, more effective results to game developers than general purpose models alone. So basically saying that their model, their specific model, is more specifically trained towards game development as opposed to something like GPT, like ChatGPT, which is very, very general. In that case, yep, that does make sense. That is technically one of the upsides of their specific model, which is very much trained on Unity documentation, Unity things, game development, as opposed to something that is very general purpose. Daniel says, so Bromberg claimed that Unity AI will democratize game development for non-coders while raising productivity for all users. And this one, I think this is one of the genuinely positive use cases for AI, is basically having a non-coder be able to build a quick prototype of what exactly they want to build, and then they can basically show that prototype to someone like an actual coder who can actually take that prototype and actually make it into something proper. That's basically the same thing as when I myself as a programmer with zero art skills, when I work with an artist, it does help to be able to draw out some kind of sketch so I can roughly say, okay, this is my vision, this is what I want you to draw. So that helps in terms of a programmer talking to an artist. In this case, it would help an artist talking to a programmer. Use it to basically vibe code a very rough prototype of what you want to build, and then the coder will take that as inspiration, then basically build it something from scratch using a proper foundation. So he continues, our goal is to remove as much friction from the creative process as possible, becoming the universal bridge between the first spark of creativity and a successful, scalable, and enduring digital experience. Basically, for the entirety of Unity's existence, they've always talked about this word, democratize game development. So in essence, I guess this is kind of the same thing, kind of their core DNA kind of going along the same lines. So he's not necessarily talking about something that is completely alien to the entire company structure. So will its AI tech actually soon be able to prompt full casual games into existence? In theory, yes. When it comes to things like Flappy Bird, really casual games, Flappy Bird, Subway Surfers, those kinds of things, yes, AI is already capable of doing that. And I'm guessing on this update that they're going to be putting out in GDC, I'm guessing it will improve those capabilities so it will be even more capable. So if you tell it, make me Flappy Bird, make me Subway Surfers, and you give some detail, technically it should be able to roughly do that. But my main takeaway is really the same thing that I was saying. The output of those is really not going to be something that any kind of gamer would like to play. If you put something like that directly on Steam, you're not really going to get any sales, any copies, nothing. Because again, the quality of the AI output, whilst it is very impressive, it is insanely impressive how AI is actually so capable of building something. Whilst it is super impressive, it is not necessarily up to the level of quality that gamers actually expect. So why would a gamer play some kind of AI game that was made in 10 minutes as opposed to something that was actually properly crafted by a proper designer, proper programmer, and so on? And basically the answer to that is I really don't think anybody would choose the AI version as opposed to something more proper. Because again, the AI tools are just not yet at that point. But when it comes to prompting just some prototype in order to get an idea out and running, just so you can test out various game ideas, something that I've talked about recently quite a lot is how nowadays it is extremely important to do idea validation and idea selection. If you want to find success, you definitely do need to make sure that you actually spend your effort working on the right idea and not the wrong idea. So if you have, let's say, 20 ideas, it can really help to basically use AI, and the better the AI is at building prototypes, the better it's going to be used for this stage. Basically using that to build prototypes of those 20 game ideas, then you can easily try out and try to see, okay, these ideas have potential, these do not. Then once you do find some that do have potential, then I would say basically rework the whole thing, remake it all from scratch using a proper code base so you can actually take it to the finish line and actually have a finished, polished product. So ultimately, it's what I said. Basically look at AI as a companion, not as a replacement. Look at it as really just another tool in your toolbox. Just like you have game engines, you have IDEs, those are all really tools. Use those tools, use AI as another tool, use it to help you make better games. So on the task where it can help you, use it. On the task that it doesn't help you, don't use it. But the end result is use it as a tool to help you make better games as opposed to a tool that is going to replace you. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide on how to make games, check out my free complete courses. For beginners, I've got my Kitchen Chaos course. It is 10 hours teaching you all about Unity game development. Or if you're preferring more technical path, check out my C# course. This one is 12 hours long and covers everything from the language, everything from beginner to intermediate to advanced. There's a free video on YouTube, and then there's a premium version with a bunch of awesome bonuses, like a companion project with actual interactive exercise for every lecture in the course you can learn by doing. And if you're already on the intermediate level and you want to take your skills to the next level, then check out my problem solving course. This one is focused on teaching you the most valuable skill of all. It's a very practical course with all kinds of exercises that you can do in order to gain tons of experience so you can gain this knowledge. This one also has a free version over here on YouTube and a premium version containing all the over 200 problems for you to solve in order to gain this really valuable skill. Check out all my free courses with the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.